Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. It's like you have jumped the gun. You entered and staff asked you to sit down. But since you are already seated, it's okay. Let me just remind you that for continuation of your testimony before this commission of inquiry, may I remind you that you are still under oath.
Well, ako hanu sign the similar kan. Ako jama ni na reka lole afuesi bar ko me ko sita ako basiti. Ako hanu sign se hakilo bulan nunko kalobe la kalta no menna yo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I hand over the witness to you.
Mr. Diba, good afternoon.
Ako ora rovini.
Major.
Fine, I'm fine.
You are welcome back.
Baraka.
Council, please proceed.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Diba, you have a business named Nemasu Enterprise.
Ako Mr. Diba, ako ye business oso wala safaro ye mentola Nemasu Enterprise. Yes.
And the type of business is said to be general trading and contractor.
Ako dung ila business oso ifa menti wala ika men for general trading and contractor.
Tonyana.
That's quite true.
What kind of contracting work do you do?
Ako ni ko contractor, ika mune contract si ifa okay?
Jawanyama mtu contractor comme ni molie doku soto comme ni kafu doku soto ten yem bula ka bagasul samane yem contract pour ka bagasul samane.
And normally when communities have projects to run, sometimes they contact me because I have items where I used to transport them to the communities or the project site.
What kind of things do you transport to the communities?
Akoniko kabagaso la komu fensi falle woldi.
Mapo transport de. Comme ni molie doku soto. Comme ni molie comme example training soto. So iko ilafta bagaso la. Comme manolu, tulolu, jabolu, anim fen kotamol. Is in contract nga ntenga wo provide ye.
Normally, I don't mean to transport items to them, but what I want to make it clear here is that certainly when communities have, like, meetings or certain things, events like such, so normally they come to me and purchase rice, oil, etc.
Do you have a shop?
Yes.
Where is it located?
Located at Jara, Soma.
And what are the items that you sell in your shop?
Ako mung fancy fa lebije ikamen wafi la bedigodo.
Ndaka manon le wafi.
Rice,
tulolu,
oil,
sukurolu,
sugar,
jabolu,
onions,
and meo ni keke mungo,
milk, dry powders, milk powders,
pompiterol,
sweet potatoes.
Most of them goods.
I mean goods.
So are you a wholesaler or are you a retailer?
Ako dung iteni bawa Afrikang akamunta ko ramase bitiko lembang wala hari mo sinano kili kumuliasa.
I do both wholesale and retail.
I do both.
And do you have staff that work for you?
Ako for ye mol soto le benka dogo ke kama for staffs. Yes, I used to get people who used to work for me then.
When is then? Or when was then?
Since the establishment of my business from 2016 up to 2019.
Since 2016 to 2019.
Okay. And do you have any staff that work for you now?
Yeah, I have someone working under me, but not on payroll. It's my son who is working at the shop right now.
Yes, I do have someone who is working for me, but not payroll. He is my son who is working for me.
And from 2016 to 2019, how many staff did you have working for you?
Ako kabo 2016 kana 2019 ako udo hulal membe bulu mo yellem.
I have only one full-time staff, and the rest were part-time.
Yeah, I do have one full-time staff, and the others are part-time staffs.
And do you do any other business, or is this the only business that you do?
Ako for yes, safara do so wala business do you can make for yinda male mina business odi.
Anyway, business wala karola ka inga in business diva adamal.
Yes, on the side of
But
business.
it's musama general fanante.
On the side of business, yes, this is the only business I used to do, but I'm a farmer too.
So you farm and you have a shop that you sell commodities at.
Ako samunta ko ikaseno kele andon fana ibiti ko soto ikafengol suwa fi damento.
Tonyale.
That's correct.
Okay. So you said that you became aware, or you saw on Facebook a post by Soma Gambia and a radio program at Soma Community announcing that Mansakonko Area Council was looking for potential suppliers to supply rice in respect of the COVID support, and you applied.
Ako ifangola foro to iko ya jedum Facebook oto ikafo Gambia wala jara Soma radio to community radio wa announce la kachibaro di go Mansakonko Area Council isulata bagasol la saibe sulare mola mi alonko asi bagasol di la no wala si supply no bagasol la.
Tonyale.
That's quite true.
And are those the only places that you saw and heard the advertisement?
Ako fo Mansakonko jele keta palaso ti yeme moy ko isulata fengola bangola ila de ila chibaro to ko je to le sulata fengola fako je damal le ba.
Ma question o moy kude.
Ako fo aketa o damal ti jara Mansakonko damal mo yeda mem moy ko ibe sulare bagasol la fo la dul fana moy le be sulata la ko be Mansakonko sulata la nyame.
Well, Mansakonko damma ma wol tamoy, man Mansakonko damma tamoy, bari ntesi wol ta keno.
No, not only Mansakonko, but that is the one I can be able to do so.
I'm not sure either you didn't get my question or I don't get your answer. You said that you saw the advertisement on Facebook and you also heard it on a radio program. Are those the only two media that you heard and saw it on?
That is correct.
Akosai abeme fola jawala ke ni kamena bari fo ko ye Mansakonko la ko ye Facebook le ani radio jara Soma community radio ako abuta ko o chibar flow le ole soto pour Mansakonko la karola.
Through the media, yes.
Yes, through the media.
So you didn't see it on any newspaper?
Ako imagine no suffering for news kairo bala.
Ntamaje.
No, I don't see.
Now, prior to this advertisement, did you do any work with Mansakonko Area Council before?
Ako naman ke yung business ode wala danda yung business ode kelanong. Ako fo ini Mansakonko kolo buke bang wala ini ba fenki to liebang. Dan ni.
Nala si doko keno e bari wo manke contract.
Yes, I have ever did work for them, but that is not a contract.
What work did you do for them?
Ako mundo ko si fay men ken ni.
Jalle nyim contract ko kasinu Mansakonko Area Council la CEO tatanu jeme alongo aya fonye ko ala staff dul ka fo ko jannin karo ka fay ka sula mano lale.
Before this business, there was a CEO at Mansakonko Area Council who ever told me that some of his staffs used to need rice by the end of the month.
No, before the end of the month.
Before the end of the month.
So sometimes I not often go say for nata for asikeno le banina staff mem ni tamanu la na ya fonya because ndola salary jo wato mansi yena ndenga undertaking ta yemano dio staff la den yala price fenke je nin karo fata ndenga bon staff oni na kodoto ngeto jo for asikeno ba.
So he then asked me whether it will be possible if it happens that one of his staffs need rice before the end of the month, before payment have been effected, whether he can accompany him to me and so that I can give the individual the rice and the price. When the month ends, he can guarantee and brought the said monies to me.
So basically, but Nimbuka contract between me and the CEO, it is a direct contract between me or between me and the staff itself, him or herself.
But this is not actually a contract between myself and the CEO. No, it is a contract between myself and the individual who need the rice at the time.
So, ngama ketale karkilin damalem kabri ngaje ko amannante febo kanto wato dolu na tata comme si wati jawta janimbe jo sorola an te kasula ko dola le pour nimba ka sul bandangata sa so ngaje ko amam febo bari
This was done within 1 month, but later I realized that this does not favor me due to the fact that sometimes when the months end before I get my money, it takes a while, and really I need my money. I need the monies for the business, so it doesn't favor me.
So covering karo nyimbanda nata na kudul ngambe nudondo amansia ngamana monanda male nata manota wo fana covering karo fata after 10 days wal nata rajo kabri yajo nata fosio dal business on dal da continue la lokada man favor.
Although the people who took money rice from me, there were not many, maybe 4 of them. But after the end of the month, about 10 days after the end of the month, they came and liquidated their monies. But I later talked to CEO to say to him that, well, I don't think I can be able to go ahead with this type of business.
Now, how did you get to know the CEO?
Ako CEO ikamel lak mo fu jam itinate ale nyolo nyaadile wala ite yalo nyaadile
CEO ngalong 2006 wato bitiko be mbulani telecenter. So
I knew CEO in the year 2006 while I was having a shop and a telecenter.
So CEO najira doku wala ala friendo beje wala doku wala palaso anindela palaso be nakino bantela palaso munyu palaso badi duto fana beje. So
CEO, whenever he closed from work, he used to get a friend who has a shop just adjacent to me, but although my shop is bigger than his and I have a mango tree around my shop.
Duto be nabitigo dala ntata de duto de para be nabitigo dala jere. So
there is a big tree around near my shop, although I don't own the tree, but it's near my shop.
So ikanaje ikasije mbeka kajaje ntala bitigo fele si kajaje la fele ngasi wolo world.
So he used to come and sit under that tree where we chat, and my shop is near. I used to come there, we all chat. That is where I come to know the CEO.
So you've known the CEO since around 2006?
Ako amunta ko yung CEO long since 2006. Yes.
And this shop that you're talking about, is it the same shop that you operate now?
Ako nyembiti ko kamela ko mo fo jang. Fo biti kiling olem bang hani ibe mendo hani sai.
Honey.
No.
It's a different shop?
Ako ibang kiling. They are different.
So where was this shop that you're talking about located?
Ako nyembiti ko obe no mintole wala atebe mintole.
Nyembiti ko nyimeng folong bi in 2006 oben na korda bundale to.
The shop I'm talking about 2006, that is within our main compound entrance.
Where is that?
Ako mintole odi.
Soma Kanikunda Highway.
Soma Kanikunda Highway.
Opposite Gampos.
Opposite Gampos.
And did you sell the same things? Did you sell commodities as well at that time in 2006?
Ako fo ikanyi baga sifal bembe bulusa ikawul fana waf no wodo mo lebang 2006.
Or was that the telecenter?
Adin telecenter.
Wado mama no soto komen sainte wado nka telecenter le operate ani jikandi kaso tagulo kase tabulo ani taxi fana bembulu so tia sira machine fana bembulu je wado kawol le do ko ndino.
At that time I was with a telecenter and I have a copy shop. And sometimes I have this machine for roast groundnut.
So,
I don't have a coffee shop. Cafeteria and table.
Very well.
Sorry, what?
Yes, table.
You had a table with a copier?
Yeah.
Okay. So in 2020, how did the CEO know that, or the CEO know that you sold rice?
Ako wato bari fanga fako mano table nije ako sai CEO ya lo nyadile ko sai ka mano le wafi.
2017 rather, covering nga bitiko soto saintembe damendo nsa unta wolto nga o bitika do bulambe nun damendo kadu o bitiko be nun konotole so nata bitiko nyini mana balola nga bitiko soto je adu o bitiko fana nata wara o kada bitika bade.
So in the year 2017, that is the time I vacated from the first shop, which is a little bit inside, and I have this new shop, which is just by the road. And although it is too a big size shop.
So nara sa uwoto.
That's where I vacated to.
Ala nara ndema ngara bagas do lafa comme mbaw na business o meta kanne. So nara bagas o lafa kamano demande man sin ka demande sang.
By the help of God, that is how my business was increasing.
But
then I decided to buy these commodities like rice and so called.
But kabin sa unda o manakam bitiko ro mana telecenter na ran sabo nga telecenter bulanu na kabin 2008.
But for this telecenter I stopped that since the year 2008.
So tiasiol wo wolda 2006 la so telecenter na nga wo drop 2008 mana continue wala sa kabin sa unda ni bitika do because 2008
but the machine for rose ground I stopped that since 2008.
2006.
2006, but the telecenter was 2008. I stopped running the telecenter too.
So 2008, not a business of Bulanu, because my challenge so not a taxi continue not taxi. I'm a taxi business all.
During the year 2008, I didn't stop the business because there was some challenges. But although I was going ahead with the taxi, my own taxi for business.
So kabrin nara place on mbeo taxi la nara o fanambula ndara karaola comme ndara fita ya karam electrical installation men word for after 3 years nara murnam koteke.
When I stopped the taxi, I then went to learn about the installation. From there, when I stopped that, I came back to the business.
So kabrin nara 2011 mbota nganda electrical installation na.
In the year 2011, that's the time I stopped from the electric installation.
So mbeje manam taxi fanam because man ko do so pruka muru ko taxi ka wanyama.
Because I don't have finance to start the taxi or to go back to the taxi.
So na friendo beje o fanam munim fitality afanam beddo go fita garasoro.
But one of my friend is a mechanic who is working at one of the motor garages.
So nara kafu mala garasoro je.
That is where I joined him.
So there I
said to him that although right now I don't have a place, but I want to attach myself to you to be an apprentice.
So 2012 nada start kanyine kotol sang scraps.
But there I was with him until the 2012 when I started buying these scraps. When I have money, I buy scrap.
So
whenever I sold that scraps, then the monies I gained from there, I saved them.
Yeah, the one then
the little one that left with me, I used to feed myself and my family.
So for 2015.
I was doing that till the year 2015.
So 2015 nara bitiko start koreken na suo kono je.
But in the year 2015 I started the business, my shop at home there.
So mbeo bitiko kono nara nga manul sanje.
At that shop I started buying rice,
manul ni tulo ni sukro ni jabol,
oil, sugar and onion.
Comme ça inga fe on me wavi nga start 2015 kotek.
As normal as the goods I'm selling today, I started selling them since 2015.
So maybe 2015 covering 2016 kono.
When I entered in the year 2016.
So because I'm ndadunda no political kono 2016.
But in the year 2016.
Can we guide the witness, please?
Very well.
This narration is too long.
So, Mr. Diba, I was asking how the CEO came to know that you sold rice?
Ako nyininkaro memo wala mko ate nyininka men ako CEO ate alo nyaadile wala kalamta nyaadile ko ite kamano lu wafile.
Because I thought you asked me how did I get to the other shop. That's why
you wanted to speak in Mandinka, so
okay, all right.
Everything needs to be translated. So, Mr.
Sorry, Mr. Diba. If you still want to, because from listening to you, you can speak very good English.
Ako ayala mo nyame alata ne ko ila ngale ko le fanglo senata. Ako bari baji la niyo ke saje sitaria fat ngabo jang bari mo nyobe batuka.
Not a particular problem to guy.
If there's no problem, well,
we don't have any problem.
Ako ndolo fam kasula ko sifala isa
If
ya
you
ko
opt
taria.
to change to English, we
Ako
are.
bana tutai tele bulu ni lafta ngale kamala fango you are highly welcome.
Yeah, okay. But ada kira problem kalau ni mami mo angale kau orang sahaja ni kau.
No.
O problem to je.
Yes. Anything that you don't understand, you can
Ako fama
ask.
femi ya ko ma faham isi ni karo nga se media wala nga se ni.
No problem.
Thank you so
Madam
much.
Chairman.
All right.
So, Mr. Deba,
Yes.
can you tell us how the CEO came to know that you sold rice? Because you had initially said that you knew him when you had the telecenter.
Yeah, the CEO came to know that I sell rice when I transferred to the other shop where I am right now. I was there from 2016 up to 2020. I was only selling rice and the stuff that I explained earlier. So the CEO himself normally come to my shop and buy rice for his family. So that's where he knew that I sold rice.
Okay. So, you said in your statement that you responded with an application submitted to the procurement officer, Ibrahim Sedili.
That is correct.
Sorry. Did you say that is correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Now, in the advert, did they give you the specifications of what they wanted? Was that provided in the advert?
In the advert, of course, it was indicated that they will need rice and oil together with soap.
Together with what?
Soap, saffron.
Soap. Okay.
Soap.
That's all they said in the advert. Did they say how many bags of rice, how many gallons of oil? Did they say anything specific in the advert?
They were not specific in the amount of rice and also the soap. They were not specific.
What did they state in the advert? What was the requirements to apply?
Well, the requirements to apply is those who have who are legally registered with the Attorney General Chambers and the Public Procurement Authority, GPPA. And yeah, basically that's it.
Okay, and also you said you were at the shop from 2016 to 2020.
Yeah.
Are you not operating there anymore?
I'm still operating there.
Okay, so you've been there from 2016 to date?
To date, yes.
Okay. Now, you said you sent your application to Ibrahim Sedili.
Yeah, but the application was addressed to the CEO.
Okay.
But when I went there to submit the application, they told me you should have submitted this application to the procurement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who told you that?
I think the CEO, I didn't mean the CEO that very day, but I don't remember. Was it the secretary? I don't know actually, but I was told, I cannot remember actually the very person who asked me to take it to the procurement, but actually the CEO was not there that very day, that particular day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you took your application to the procurement officer, Ibrahim Sedili. What did your application contain?
My application was very precise. It says I am a businessman, a young business entrepreneur, and live in Choma here and registered with Gambia Attorney General Chambers with GPPA, and I can supply rice and oil. That is what I indicated in my application, if I am chosen.
You didn't include soap?
Huh? No, I didn't include soap.
You don't sell soap?
I do sell soap, but I didn't include that in my application.
You did not plan to supply the soap?
I did not plan to supply soap.
Now, do you know whether other people applied as well?
Of course, I knew other people applied for the program.
Okay. Do you know any who applied?
I don't know the person in particular, but I was told he's from Jara East, Pakaliba.
Okay.
I don't know the person actually.
So only one other person applied?
I was told, I don't know, 6 or 7 people applied. But definitely the only person I know is from Pakaliba. That's the only person I heard is from Pakaliba. But the rest I didn't know where they come from and who they are.
And who told you this, the procurement officer?
Actually, not the procurement officer. I cannot remember whom I have this discussion with. But when I asked how many people did apply for this program, okay, during the interview, when they called me for an interview, I was told that you didn't apply alone. There are many applicants. I told how many, they say, I don't know, 6 or 7, something like that.
Now, who was on the interview panel?
The interview was conducted by CEO, the procurement, 2 procurement officers, Mr. Sedili and Mr. Baba Trawale, were the one who invited me for an interview for my application.
So this CEO that you've been saying that you knew, that's Pas Sise?
That is correct.
Now, during the meeting that you had where he and the other gentleman that you mentioned, can you remind me of the name, please?
Mr. Baba Trawale?
Baba Trawale?
Yeah.
So during this meeting, did the CEO mention that he knew you?
CEO never said he knew me.
Okay. So it's at this meeting that they informed you that other people applied?
I asked.
Okay, you asked?
Yes.
All right. Now, you said that, was that the only meeting or was there a subsequent meeting?
Well, basically that was the first meeting.
Okay.
But
so what went on at that first meeting then?
Well, that first meeting, I was told that they have gone through my application, but basically they cannot tell me. I have made all the requirements according to them, but they will inform me whatever the outcome of their interviews with the other applicants. They will inform me. Either I will be choosing or not choosing, whatever they will call me. Even if I don't get, they will give me the feedback.
And when you went for that meeting, were there other applicants around, or was it just you?
No. There were no other applicants. It was only me during that meeting.
So when was the second meeting?
The second meeting was a week later.
A week later?
A week later, yeah.
Okay.
And I was called by Mrs. Sedili that fortunately my application is accepted by the committee, and I was choosing to supply a certain bag of rice.
So during the first meeting, did they tell you how many bags of rice they wanted or how much oil they wanted?
That very day, they said they were in need of almost 900 bags of rice. That first meeting. That was their plan.
And what about, was it oil?
Oil.
How many gallons did they say?
That day, they did not mention oil. They said they need oil, but they cannot tell me how much, unless when they confirm with the finance they have in hand.
Okay. So they told you they wanted 900 bags of rice?
Yeah.
And you confirmed that you could deliver that?
I did not confirm that I would deliver that because they told me, that was the interview. They told me they may need that. Okay. That was not confirmed on that first meeting.
No, but I'm saying, did you confirm that you would be in a position to supply it?
Yeah, I confirmed that I would be in a position to supply it if they need it.
And did they tell you at that meeting the size of the bag that they wanted, the type of rice they wanted?
That particular meeting, yes.
Okay, so what did they say about the rice?
They told me the size is 25 kilo rice.
Okay.
25 kilogram.
And it didn't matter what type of rice?
They did not mention the type of rice, but when I was choosing, they asked me to submit the type of rice I can submit, and I submit 2, American rice and chef rice.
Okay.
So they choose chef rice.
So you were telling us about the second meeting with the procurement officer.
That is correct.
Okay, please go on.
So when I was called the second time by the procurement officer that I was choosing to supply them with 655 bags of 25 kilogram. Instead of 900, they now is going for 655.
Okay.
Yeah. So together with cooking oil, 5 liter, 414 small gallon, 5 liter.
Okay.
So I told him, so how will I do this? Am I going to deliver the goods and then you pay me? He told me, no, there should be an agreement. I don't know, we will call you again. That was what he told me that very day. But the following day, I was called by the CEO that whether the procurement officer did call me. I told him yes, he called me. He said whether I can supply. I said yes, I can supply. He told me, so but you will have to supply, then we paid you. I told him no, but I cannot supply like that. You have to give me an advance payment. Because right now, of course, I can supply, but I also need support. If you can give me an advance payment. He told me, then how much advance payment do you think we can give you? I told him, well, that depends. Whatever amount you give me, I'll try to supply because I'll know that it's definitely going to be a deal between us. So he asked me to submit an invoice of 655 bags of rice and also the 414 gallons of 5 liter oil. So I did submitted the invoice. For the first time, I submitted the pro forma invoice. They asked me to submit pro forma invoice. So I did that. So 3 days later, they say, okay, you'll be given a check of 200. I don't know. I don't remember actually, but they give me 200, 225. Actually, I don't remember, 200 something. So to GT Bank check. They asked me whether I have an account with GT. I say yes, I have an account with GT. He said, okay, now you give us your account name. We'll write that in the check, then you go and receive the money to GT. I told them about my GT account, there is no other money. If you put this money there, it may give me challenge because it could be dormant. They told me, no, but you have to confirm with the GT first before we put the I told, okay. So I called the then manager, GT manager at Farfenya and asked whether if I have money in my account right now, will I be able to withdraw it? He told me, yes, your account there is around $900, so you can withdraw. So I was given a check, 200 something, I don't actually remember how much. But I came to Banjul with that money, and then I withdrew that amount from GT, from my account, and then later on, I added on the money that I have and when I buy rice. So when I buy rice from Banjul here, 655 bags, and then I took it to Masakonko, and also 414 gallons of 5 liter oil, and then I deliver it to them.
Let me show you this document. Thank you.
Yeah, this is correct.
Is that your invoice?
This is what my invoice.
Is the one that you sent to Mansakonka Area Council?
Yeah.
And it's for 655 bags at 650?
Rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chairperson, I'd like to tender the invoice for the Nemasu Enterprise to Mansakonka Area Council.
But this is the last invoice I submitted. The last invoice I submitted. Before it was pro forma, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was the last invoice I submitted.
So the processing of your payment is from this one?
When I submitted this?
This one, yes.
Yes.
That is when they process your first payment?
That is when they process my first payment. But it was not only this that I submitted. I submitted another one together with the oil. The oil one was also there.
cash invoice dated 29th of April 2020 to Mansakonko Area Council is for the purchase of 655 bags of rice of 25 kilo each at a total sum of 425,750 is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/AD/MKAC/002.
As the Commission pleases, I'm grateful. Now, Mr. Diba, so you were paid 200,000, I believe you said, initially?
Yeah, with some amount, I don't remember actually, but 200,000 with some amount. Actually, I don't remember how much, but it was more than 200.
So let me just show you this as well. Sorry, Mr. Boja. This is Matakonka Area Council's bank statement. All right, it's exhibit LGC/MAC/GTB/MM01. Please show the witness this page. I've put an asterisk against the entry. Now, can you confirm on the 28th of April 2020, from that statement, that a payment of $200,000 is?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what the narration is?
Yeah, the narration says transfer between 28th April 2020, $200,000, yes.
And it's in whose name?
Huh?
Whose name?
Customer cost transfer from.
Do you need assistance?
Yeah, because I didn't know the name.
Don't worry.
I didn't see the name definitely.
Mr. Bojang, can I have the statement, please? Sorry, Assistant Registrar. Can you tell us the name?
Yeah.
What's the name?
The name is Almamo. Almamo Diva. So they write the Almamo, yeah.
So that's the check to you?
Correct.
So after that, when did you supply the rice?
When I received this check, the very day that I received the check, after 2 days, I delivered the rice to Area Council because the very day that I received the check, I came to Banjul that very day. So I did my purchasing already, ordering. I make payment. So, you know, sometimes in Banjul here, when you pay, you cannot get it today. It was only the following day that you can get. So I got the rice the following day, but they were not able to reach out from Mansakongo that the day that I took it from, I took the rice from here. It was the 3rd day that I delivered the rice to Mansakongo Area Council.
And when were you paid the balance?
The balance took some time. I cannot remember actually, but it took some time before I get the balance. I don't know, a week or so, something like that. Okay. I don't know, but it was not the very day, not the 2nd day, not the 3rd day. It took some time before I get the balance.
And did you ever supply them with oil?
Of course, I supplied the oil.
When did you supply them with oil?
I supplied the oil the same day I supplied the rice. They were supplied together.
So, but you didn't supply a performer invoice for the oil?
I supplied, of course, I submitted the performer invoice for both oil and this thing.
And
rice.
Did they pay an advance for the oil, or you didn't require an advance for the oil?
This was the only payment I asked. This was the only advance payment they made to me. After this, I didn't ask for any other payment until the contract was done, then they paid me my final balance. I remember, probably, I don't know.
So other than oil, what else did you supply them with?
Only 2 distinct products that I supply, rice and oil.
Only rice and oil.
Only rice and oil, yes.
And did you supply them, other than these two, other than the 414 gallons of oil and this 655 bags of rice, did you supply them any other rice, or any other oil, any other item?
I already said no.
Pardon?
I said no.
Okay. Let me show you something. So when were you paid for the oil? Because I'm assuming you were paid the balance for the rice before you were paid for the oil, right?
I was paid the balance. I don't remember actually when they paid all the balance. Was it once or twice? But after this payment, another payment was done. You know, it was one time. Then after that, I went through a lot of things. So probably I forget, but the payment was done twice. I don't know.
For the rice?
Yeah. Not only for the rice. I deliver goods together.
You said you delivered the oil and the rice on the same day?
On the same day.
Okay. Now I asked you about the payment, and you said the rice was paid in this first 200,000, and then you were paid again.
I never said the rice, the advance was only paid for the rice. I said the advance payment was given to me for 200,000, not only the rice. When we agreed on price, when I submitted my invoice, we agreed on price for both rice and oil. I asked for advance payment, and they give me $200,000. It's not for the 200,000 was not only for the rice. It was just an advance payment for the overall,
So do you have a copy of the pro forma invoice for the oil?
Actually, I didn't have any of those copies. Right?
Did you give them a pro forma for the oil?
I give them pro forma invoice.
Okay.
I gave it to them.
And it was the same date as the one for the rice?
Yes, the oil and rice.
Okay. So you were given an advance payment. Can you just calculate for me how much the 414 bags of cooking oil were? How much, 414 gallons of cooking oil. How much was it for 1 gallon? The 5-liter gallon.
How much was 5-liter gallon?
Yes.
I gave it to them $425.
425?
425.
So can you make the calculations? Can you do the calculations, please?
It was $5,950, I remember.
Okay. So you had the 175,950 and 425,750. So that's 601.
601,700. And that is correct.
Okay. So let me just show you. Can you refer to that statement still? Check for the date, 2nd of May, 2020.
2nd of May.
Yes.
Here.
How much was that?
The amount was 307,000.
And it was to whom? Whom was it made out to?
To Nemasu Net. Nemasu Enterprise.
Can I have the statement, please?
This time it's Nemasu.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it. Nemasu.
Nemasu Enterprise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you only receive your payments via check? Did you ever receive any in cash?
Yeah, that's what I cannot remember. I remember there's something that I wanted to say. The total amount that they're supposed to pay me was $601,900.
700.
Huh?
601,700.
No, it's 900 because $200 came after I deliver all the goods. The rice were outside, so they asked me to put the rice in their chamber. I told them, but I have already delivered the rice here. So if I have to do it, then I will ask the laborers to do that, and you have to pay them. When I called the laborers say, let them give them $200 for them to do. They say, but they cannot pay the laborers. So I have to take that responsibility. They will put that money, $200 to my payment. That makes it $601,900. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, that's fine.
And this was agreed by me. I said, yes, no problem, you can put it to my money, then I give it to the laborers.
That's fine. Now, when you were paid, was it when you were paid that you issued a receipt? Did you issue a receipt to them?
Oh yeah, I issued a receipt to them.
And would it be when you were paid the whole of your amount, or would it be before?
Yeah, this is what I cannot remember, but all the payment, I give them the receipt for their contracts. I don't know whether it's once or...
What is your usual practice? You're in business. Do you issue receipts before you're paid, or do you issue receipts after you're paid?
Normally, I issue receipts when I am paid. But sometimes, you don't receive sometimes it happens in business. You issue receipt to your clients when there are check transactions. When they give you checks, while you don't receive the cash yet, but you can still issue a receipt when the customer is in need for the receipt.
But would you issue a receipt for the check amount, or would you, so let's assume like in this situation, the check amount is a part payment, right?
Yeah.
So would you issue a receipt for 200,000, or would you issue a receipt for the whole amount?
Normally what I do is, if I receive all my payment, I issue a receipt. But depending on the fact that if a customer needs a receipt for a particular advance payment, sometimes we do issue receipt. So I cannot remember.
For the advance payment?
Yes. But I cannot remember whether in this particular transaction, whether I have issued a receipt for both, the whole transaction, or I issue a receipt partly. I cannot remember that actually. But I know I issue a receipt for the transaction.
Now, would you issue a receipt for a full transaction when you haven't been paid?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
When I am paid.
When you have not been paid for the full transaction?
No, I don't do that.
Okay, why would you do that?
Yeah, because I don't know whether I will get paid or not, so I cannot issue a receipt when I am not paid. Normally, I don't do that.
Okay. Assistant Registrar. Please show the witness. Is that your receipt?
Yeah, that is correct.
And it is for how much?
$425,750.
And that's for the 655 bags of rice, right?
Yes, yes.
And it's dated 29th of April?
Yeah.
2020?
That is correct.
You were paid the 200,000 on the 28th day of April 2020?
Yeah.
So you were paid some balance on the 2nd of May 2020?
Yeah.
So why would you issue a receipt for the full amount for the rice before you've been paid the full amount?
Thank you. I was asked to submit my invoice and receipt.
Sorry, okay, go ahead.
I was asked to submit, when I submitted the pro forma invoice for the first time, okay, they said no problem, now you can submit your invoice and the receipt for the total contract, that is the rice and the oil. So I did it separately. But when I submitted this, they told me that now you have to give us, you have to supply us the rice and the oil, then we pay you the full amount. I said, no, I cannot supply the rice if you don't give me the money. You have to give me the money first. Either way, whatever amount you give me, then I'll go and supply. Then later you can make my, payment. So they give me an advance of $200,000. I don't remember before it was 200 something, but now I realize it was $200,000 rather. So after that, I received the whole, product, the whole, rice and oil. Then later they make full payment.
When did you receive the amounts for the rice and the oil? Because from the two payments that I've shown you so far, that's $507,000, which is less than the cost for the rice and the oil.
Yeah, but when you ask me whether normally I do that, I say I don't do it normally.
You said you never do that.
No, I said I do it depending on the customer request.
Diba, the last answer that you gave just before I showed you that receipt was that no, I never do that.
Yeah, of course I said that.
That's what you said.
But for the first time you asked me, I said normally we don't do it. But depending on the need of customer, the customer will ask you to submit receipt and invoice it for his need, and then you know that the customer will make payment. Sometimes we do it. Even with the check,
so
this thing.
Let me just ask you, why were you so sure that you would receive your payment after issuing a receipt for the full amount, even before you were paid? Why were you so sure? You issued a receipt before you were paid.
Why am I so sure?
That you would get paid?
Yeah, basically because I am sure they will pay me, because I have never get such experience with Reconciling. Though they have never contacted me before, but for the fact that they assure me that this is a transaction that has to go through a series of processes. You don't just jump and pay the full amount of a contractor. So I believe they will pay me. Even if they don't pay me, I will have other means to recover my money.
What other means?
We have a law in the country.
Okay. So is it not the same law that says you don't issue a receipt for money that you haven't received?
Yeah, it's true.
So
it could be. I don't know the law.
Now, did they explain to you why they needed a receipt for full payment that they have not given yet?
No, they have not tell me.
So who told you to issue the receipt first?
It was the procurement asked me to receive.
Which person?
Mr. Sedili.
Mr. Sedili?
Yeah, that's
He said that you should issue a receipt for the payment that you haven't received yet.
Yeah.
And you did that.
Well, maybe the way you are saying it, he did not told me the way you are telling me, but he told me to submit my invoices.
But you know that it is not right to issue a receipt for money that you haven't received.
I didn't know it wasn't right.
So assuming, you said there's a law in the country, so assuming you decided to go to court to claim for the monies that you haven't been paid.
If I didn't get paid.
That you didn't get paid,
yeah.
But you issued a receipt. Now what were you going to explain to the court?
I was sure they will pay me, but if they don't pay me.
Because you said there's a law.
I said.
If they don't pay.
Yes.
So that's why I'm asking you, if you went to court and you show the judge, this is my receipt.
Yeah.
I issued it even though I wasn't paid the money. Kindly let me know what you think is going to be the outcome.
The outcome they will pay, because there are bank statements that will be produced that these people didn't pay me.
So if you did something wrong by issuing a receipt for payment that wasn't given, why would the court help you in your wrong act?
I cannot actually ascertain what the court will decide, but in my belief, if they ask me a question, you get the payment, but these people have issued a receipt that they've already paid you. For the fact that I have issued them a receipt, I can also further to say, okay, these people, my agreement with them is they will pay me through bank transaction. And there was only one bank transaction that I had with them. So if the court still decide that no, but we cannot believe that they may pay you in tables, well, that will be the decision of court. So that will be nothing that I can do.
Do you understand the concept of a receipt? Do you know what the receipt is for? It's proof of payment, right?
Proof of payment, yes.
So if you have now said that you've been paid by issuing this proof of payment, when in fact you haven't been paid, isn't that fraudulent?
Well, to me it wasn't, because I was given an advance payment.
To you, it wasn't. Generally, is that not fraudulent?
I cannot say that.
Okay. So, is it honest or is it dishonest? Let me choose a lesser
To me,
term.
it's honesty and confidence.
It is honest to issue a receipt when you have not been paid. to issue a receipt confirming that you have received payment.
To me, it's
when you have not been paid.
To me, yes.
That says a lot. Okay.
Because I have confidence in them.
In them? You've never done business with them. So what's the basis of that confidence?
Well, the business that I normally have with them was this small business.
And you said that it didn't work out. So what was the basis of this new confidence that you had?
I never said the business didn't work out. I said it get long time before I get my payment. That does not mean it didn't work out.
And you stopped it because of that?
I stopped it based on the fact that before I get my money, I said it here that I recover all my money, but it get a longer period before I got my money, and that does not favor my business.
Exactly.
So that does not mean it does not work out.
Okay, fine. So that does not favor your business. So this one, does that give you the confidence? The fact that it would take long before you get your money, was that what gave you the confidence?
I know even if it get longer period, I will get my money. I have confidence that I will get my money.
Is that because of your relationship with the CEO?
It's not because of my relation. In fact, this whole transaction, I have nothing to do with the CEO in this transaction. I never see eye to eye with CEO in this transaction. Yes.
Okay.
During this particular transaction, it was only once that I see the CEO when they called me for an interview.
Sorry, Chair, I realized I didn't tender the receipt. Mr. Registrar, can I have the receipt, please? Thank you. Wait 1 second. Chair, I applied to tender the Nemasu Enterprise receipt dated 29th April 2020 that the witness identified for. It's from 4 Mansakonka Area Council for $425,750.
Confirm whether this is number 3. No, there is another receipt there. Confirm whether it's 2. A Nemasu Enterprise receipt with serial number, receipt serial number 000511, dated the 29th of April 2020, for the sum of $425,750 is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/AD/MKAC/003.
That's the commission, please. I'm grateful. Thank you. So, Mr. Diba?
Yes.
Okay. I had asked you previously, and you said that you didn't do any other business with the area council apart from those two.
Apart from those two?
The sugar and the rice.
Not the sugar, it's rice and
Sorry,
oil.
the oil and the rice.
Yeah, but I need water to drink, please.
I apologize. There's usually one on the table. Someone will give it. So actually before that, we've highlighted 2 payments, but that does not make up the full amount of what you were owed by the council.
Yes.
So do you know how you were paid the balance?
Yeah, I think I was paid balance through the check. I cannot remember actually, but what happened was, I mentioned before that I didn't do any transaction after this transaction. After I deliver all the goods they asked me to deliver. When they distributed the rice and the oil among the people, the needies, they called me that they were short with some stuff. I don't remember how much, but that was not a contract that we have gone through like this one. It was like, okay, we need this amount. Can you provide it for this particular time right now? Because the people are standing and they need the rice. Whether you have the rice at your shop, you will come and make agreement with you. I told them yes, but I don't remember actually that was how much. But that transaction also transpired.
When did it transpire?
I cannot remember the date.
Was it the same month, it's
the same period, yes.
The same period?
The same period. The day that they were making the distribution, that was the day.
When were they making the distribution?
They did the distribution at the area council premises.
And it was just around the time that so it would be maybe May? April, May?
I don't know whether...
You supplied either on the 29th or 30th of April?
Yeah, but it's not the same day.
But it would be around that period, April, May?
I cannot say actually the actual time, but I said the very day that they were making the distribution, that was the time I was called for another listing because they were short with some stuff.
Council, let me help you. Mr. Diba,
yes.
You have given us evidence that you gave them an invoice on the 29th of April, right?
That's correct.
And then you said they gave you a check for you asked them to give you an advance, and you supplied the rice 2 days after. So if it is 2 days after, it should be around the 30th of April or the 1st of May.
I said 3 days after.
3 days after. So 29, 3 days after will be 1st of May. Would that be correct?
That I did the supply.
Yes, 3 days after.
Yeah.
So that should be 1st of May.
That is correct.
So the council must have received this rice and the oil on the 1st of May.
Yeah, that is correct.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Thank you. So you were saying around that period it would be?
It will be around that period. Well, I cannot remember actually.
The exact date?
The exact date, no.
That's fine.
That they did the distribution.
So did they ask you to go through the whole process? Did you send an invoice?
I don't remember sending an invoice. I don't actually, in fact, know how much was that amount, but I provided them with some stuff.
But you record these amounts with specificity, so I'm just wondering how it is. You remember these, you remember the exact amount, the exact figures, but you can't remember there's similar transactions with the same council.
Yeah, because I remember this amount because before this transaction, there are a lot of things, we said okay, we need this, we need this. So the transaction will take you, a lot of, conversation, so you have to remember it. Of course, I remember this transaction and the amount because that was the first time I had contract with them. So I remember the transaction. There are other things, you don't say I didn't remember how much they give me in check. But I remember they give me check of 200 something. But actually I didn't remember how much exactly. I don't also remember that. And I also don't remember actually whether they make payment for the last payment through check or not, but actually they make payment. I don't remember it actually, but they make payment.
All right, let me show you
I am
this.
sworn any witness.
Is that a copy of one of your invoices?
Yeah, correct. This is correct. This is my invoice.
So can you tell us what you supplied?
I supplied them rice.
Tell us the amounts.
For the first time, this invoice, it says 400 bags of 25 kilo rice, and then at the price of 560.
Okay.
And then the other one, 410 liter oil at $600. 100 bags of 50 kilo sugar, 1,350. Yeah.
So 400 bags of 25 kg rice at 560.
Yeah.
400 gallons of 10 liter oil.
Yeah.
At $600.
Yeah.
And 150 kilogram bags of sugar.
Yeah.
What's the date on that invoice?
The date is 11 August 2020.
Okay. Chairperson, I'd like to tender the invoice identified by the witness into evidence.
An invoice issued to Bansakonka Area Council with invoice number 00281 dated 11th of August 2020 consisting of the following items: 400 bags of 25 kilo of rice, unit price being 560, total amount costs is $224,000. 400 10 liters gallons of oil, unit price 600. The total amount is $246,000. 100 bags of 50 kg sugar, that is kilograms of sugar, unit price 1,375, and total cost here is 137,500. Total sum amount is $601,500. Said invoice is admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/AD/MKAC/004.
That's the commission, please. I'm grateful. Okay. Thank you. Now, so Mr. Diba, this invoice was dated August, right?
Yeah.
Which is a few months after you supplied the first one.
Yeah.
So, contrary to what you said earlier, that it was immediately around that time.
That was correct.
Pardon?
That is correct.
So, do you take back what you said earlier?
Yeah. When I saw the invoice, you know, I told you in my previous, when you asked me that whether you submitted invoice once, I told you no, it was twice. But when I was asked to submit the first time, when I saw the invoice, I quickly remember what transpired. Because when I submitted the first invoice for the rice and the oil, I didn't see the oil here before. You didn't show me that. And I submitted that one also for the oil, 414 gallons of 5 liter. sugar was not part of our program. But I remember quickly when I saw this, after the submission and delivery of all the products, they called me for a discussion. I remember this right now, that they need sugar also, but they don't put the sugar in their products that they requested. So instead of the 600, the rice was reduced to 400 and the sugar was issued to them. But we did the calculation. But initially, the rice was supposed to be 655 and there was no sugar. It was only the rice and the oil. So when I was told about this discussion, I agreed to this arrangement, and then I took back some of the rice and give them the sugar for the price, the amount to be tallied, which I confirmed. But after the whole transaction, that was the time this invoice was issued. That then I supposed to issue them the whole, stuff that I give them. I remember it now.
So let me understand.
Okay.
They took back some of the rice that you supplied?
I took back some of the rice that
How many bags?
I cannot remember actually, but I did it in arrangement to make sure that the amount is tallied.
You would have this written somewhere, right?
Actually, I didn't do that. I don't think I remember writing it somewhere. But we did the calculation inside the council there, and we come to terms that I have to give them the sugar. I took some bags of the rice so that the amount can be tallied.
So how many bags of sugar did you actually supply?
That's the amount you use.
So this invoice is essentially an updated version of the first one that you prepared?
The first one that we did. I just remember it now, but before I didn't remember it because I actually forgot it.
So instead of 655 bags of rice,
yeah,
you supplied 400.
Yeah, I supplied the first time. I supplied the whole rice.
You supplied the 655.
Yeah, but when I was called for this arrangement, I agreed to the arrangement, and we did the arrangement. I took the rice and gave them the sugar, which was not part of the first agreement. Then later on, after the whole...
Sorry, I don't seem to be getting the evidence. Please, can he explain? Because I'm not understanding anything.
Okay.
That has been said, because from clarity, what I get from you and from him is that the invoice 002 says he was to supply 414 5-liter oil and 655 bags of 25 kg. Total amount, he said that the first 01, 02 exhibit is only rice. There is no oil.
Yes.
But he qualified that invoice to contain oil when there is no oil in that invoice. And he said total amount is 601,700, and later said is 601,900 because he added 200 for the movement of the rice. So that is my understanding now. So please help me clear so that I have a clear understanding of the evidence.
So my understanding of that was that this was the invoice 02.
Yes.
Was the invoice for the rice.
Yes.
But he had issued another invoice for the oil.
Yes.
For the 414 gallons of oil.
Yes.
At 175,950.
Yes.
Right. So yes, but the other bits, can you clarify, please?
Yeah. Basically, what she's saying, the 425, the 655 bag of rice invoice that was submitted alone without the oil. The oil one was also submitted. The oil one was also 414 gallons of oil, which I didn't see it here, but was submitted. But the sugar,
do you have a copy?
I didn't have, unfortunately, I didn't have the copies of my receipts. What happened is my receipts, where I have some issues at the shop, so my issues got lost. I searched them since the first day that I was called to ask about this. I searched my receipts everywhere in my shop, but I couldn't see them. That particular invoice for 2020, I was only happened to see the 2021 and 2022. So, but for 2020, I didn't see it.
Okay.
But for the first invoice, there was rice and oil, separate invoice, but there was no sugar.
Yes. Yes, you can continue.
Sir, so you're saying you sent 2 invoices, one for rice, one for oil.
Yes.
Right? Now this new invoice, the one for August 2020, can you tell us again in clear chronological detail what this invoice represents?
This represents the final transaction of the whole product that I gave it to them.
Is this an additional transaction or it's an amendment of the first one?
One could say an updated transaction.
A what?
Updated transaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you supplied the 655 bags.
Before, yes.
And you were paid.
Yeah. I was.
At least you were given the advance and you were given another amount.
Yeah.
And you supplied the 414 gallons of oil.
Yeah.
And you were given some amount towards those 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this invoice came afterwards, and did you supply them an additional 400 bags of rice?
I did not supply them any other rice again. The only arrangement we made was the rice that was supplied, I will take some of the rice and give them some of the rice and some of the oil and give them the sugar so that they can also have the sugar, because the sugar was not part of their request. I did not supply any other rice again.
Now, please explain to us how come there is the price difference now?
Okay, the price difference came because it was my mistake, because I didn't see the receipt. The price difference came to my knowledge that first price.
What was the first price?
The first price, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
The first price was 650.
Yes.
But the second price was 560.
Yes.
That was my final updated one. And this was all done during our arrangement for the last time, that we need to, do the reconciliation and also have to give some support for them to be able to get sugar.
What did you say? Can you please come back to that? You said you needed to do what?
I needed to give them a favor for me to give them some sugar and withdraw some of the rice that I submitted, I delivered. Because I already delivered the rice, and their request was not for sugar. Okay. The request was only for sugar and oil. Okay. So I delivered the rice. I remember fully that the first invoice that I submitted was not actually the final invoice.
So now, you have explained the price issue. Now explain the difference in the liters of oil, because one is saying 5 and the other is saying 10, and the prices also again are not the same.
Yes, this happens for a fact that sometimes, like I'm saying, the invoice that I remember fully I submitted was
Mr.
5
Diba,
liters.
Mr. Diba, if you help us, give us correct and honest.
I'm giving
just a minute. If you give us a straight and an honest answer, we will not get into these technicalities, because these are technicalities that ought not to happen, because this is an entity that is contracting a businessman registered under the laws of the Gambia, paying tax, so they should do business right. Am I correct to make that statement?
You are correct. And if
so now give us a logical explanation as to how these changes could happen, and you cannot recollect and understand some of these things, and you can only go back. Let me just ask you, did you sign an agreement? Or it is just verbal discussion and invoices?
It was not a verbal discussion. There was an agreement that I signed, but the agreement was with them.
Okay.
Now,
you will request the agreement.
Okay,
Do you have a copy of the agreement?
I didn't.
You didn't keep the copy of the agreement?
No, I was not given the copy of the agreement. But what you asked me, I want to answer that question.
Okay.
You said, let me give you the logical explanation.
Okay.
What I am telling you, before, I did not remember that the sugar was requested. They never requested sugar before. They requested only rice and oil, which I submitted an invoice for rice and oil. But later on, when the council saw me the invoice for 11 August, I remember, of course, it happens because when I delivered the rice and oil, these people called me for an arrangement because they needed sugar. And the sugar was not part of our arrangement.
Okay. So now, how many bags of rice did you collect back? Because you remember, you told this commission that when they distributed this rice, that there were some that did not have. So what did you collect back? And at what time did you collect back the rice before they did the distribution?
Thank you very much. The call that I was saying, in fact, was this particular arrangement. I didn't remember it was the rice, that was what I said before, rice. But the call was made for me to come and make an arrangement for them so that I can give them sugar. I take some bags of rice because the sugar was not part of their request. So when I was called for this arrangement, I agreed to it and then we come to terms. Actually, I cannot tell you how much bag of rice did I retrieve back. But the calculation was done. All of us did the calculation there. We agreed this is the amount now. Now we'll give you this back and then you'll give us this bag of sugar.
Okay, help us do the maths because you supplied to them 100. Take your pen.
Okay.
You supplied to them 100. You said 100 bags of sugar.
Okay.
Yes. And then calculate that 100 bags of sugar to the cost of one bag and deduct it from the total amount from the rice. It will give you, calculate and give us how many bags it will amount to in rice.
Probably it was not only the rice that I retrieved, because the sugar,
but if we have to calculate, and you did the calculation with them, we can redo the calculation here and get it right.
I didn't say we cannot do the calculation. I said, because the oil also, if you see the final the final invoice, you will understand that the oil also was reduced. So if you calculate... Okay,
now let us do the maths.
Uh-huh.
So now help us do the maths. You are a businessman. We wouldn't know what transpired.
Fine. So during that arrangement, we agreed to time that the initial price will be reduced to 560, and I agreed. I reduced the price, so we did the calculation. Now I'll help you with the calculation. I'll do it.
Yes, calculate and give us exactly what, so that we will be very clear.
Okay. Council, can you help me? How much bag of rice was finally given?
400.
400. That was 224,000. And sugar was given an amount of?
The 400 bags was at the cost of
100 bags of sugar at 1,375.
Thank you. 137,500. And how much oil was finally delivered?
400 oil. 410 liter gallons.
Yeah.
That one is at $600.
Yeah. So it gives me 601,500. A 400 bags of rice would be costing $224,000. And then 100 bag of sugar would be 137,500. And the 400 gallons of oil will be 224,000. That gives me 601,500, and that was our final agreement.
So that 601,500 would be the final amount that they were supposed to pay you.
They were supposed to pay me, yes.
And the 507,000 would have been included in that amount.
507
from the first rice that they paid for and the oil. They had given you 200,000, and they
Yes.
had given you
Yes.
another amount.
Yes.
So the balance would have been 601,500 minus that 507,000.
Yeah, 507,000. 7,000. Then the balance supposed to be 94,500.
Okay. So the balance would have been 94,500.
Yes.
Can I just see, Assistant Registrar, can I see the statement? So that first page that you've been shown, that's a payment that was made to you, right? That's from the bank statement of the Mansakonka Area Council. So that first page, there's a payment that was made out to Nemasu Enterprises, right?
This page, huh? Sorry.
Have you seen it? It's underlined.
No, this was not paid to on the 19th of May.
May 2020.
Yeah.
There was a payment made to Nemasu Enterprise.
I cannot remember this payment actually.
But that is a payment made
Yeah.
to Nemasu Enterprise according to the bank statement of Mansakonka Area Council.
Yeah, $35,000. Ah, yeah, correct. That is
Okay.
correct. This payment was done to me.
Okay,
To
now
Nemasu.
go to the page with the yellow flag.
Okay.
There are two payments underlined there. Can you tell us what the first payment is? The payment for the date 12th of August 2020.
Yeah, I saw that the payment of 12 August 2020,
Is made out to Nemasu Enterprise.
yeah,
And how much is it?
was 400,000.
Okay. And then the payment of the 24th of August 2020?
Was 1,500.
Also made out to Nemasu Enterprise.
Yes.
So that 400,000 and that 201,500 would make up the 601,500 you calculated.
That is correct.
Now, but you said that the amount they owed you as a balance was 94,000.
That's what they're supposed to owe me.
Yes. So can you explain to us all these accumulated payments that they've made out to you?
Well, okay. So what I remember was since the
Sorry, can I be cleared? Is this up and above what he was supposed to receive? Is that? Because I didn't get it.
So the witness said that the 507,000 that he had received previously should come out of the 601,500 that they had calculated for the revised invoice.
Yes.
So the balance, the difference would be 94,000 odd.
Yes.
So now we've gone through the payments. Additional payments were made to him of 35,000, 400,000, and 201,500.
That is minus the 500,000.
Yes, on top of the 500,000.
Okay.
So he's now about to explain to us how it is that he
These
was paid.
additional amounts
Yes.
were paid to him.
No, this additional amount, I said I didn't remember them. These are 201,500. What I remember is these 200 first payment, $200,000, and the second payment, $307,000. That was the payment, and $35,000 to my account. That was the.
So are you saying that you're not aware of these last two payments?
I am not aware of this last payment, honestly.
Okay. So is it that you don't check your bank statement, you don't get credit alerts?
Since I didn't get the credit alert with the GT.
Do you usually get credit alerts?
No, I don't.
Do you get email notifications?
No, I don't get email
Do
notifications.
you get bank statements?
I never get bank statement from GT since I opened my account there.
Okay.
You know, after 2020, I wasn't around to activate the account. So definitely the account was dormant. Since then, I don't know, 2 or 3 transactions I did with GT. Then later on, I stopped.
So are you saying you did 2 or 3 transactions after, in that year, 2020, on your GT bank account?
I said after these Masakongo areas council transaction, then I do 2 or 3 transactions with GT. Then I didn't do any other transaction. But these $400,000 and the 201,500, I never remember them.
So if you don't remember it and you were not expecting it, that means that it would still be in your account.
Well, I don't know whether it's there because I never asked. Nobody ever.
So we will ask for a copy of your bank statement with GT Bank.
Whether I should ask?
You should provide us with your bank statement.
With GT Bank.
Hang on. Let me see that. Are those check withdrawals?
Huh?
Are those check withdrawals?
I don't?
Are those check withdrawals? Let me see. Okay, so both of them are transfers. So provide us with the account, the bank statement for the account that these monies went to.
Yeah.
And we'll ask that you provide it within the week.
So, Mr. Diba, kindly provide us with the statement from 2018 to January 2023.
The GT account?
This transaction account, you provide.
It could not be 2018 because I opened account with GT 2020.
2020?
Yes.
Okay, from the opening to date, yes.
No problem. I'll go to GT, inshallah.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Diba, if this was not an amount that you were expected to receive, and it would have been for, say, giving them the benefit of the doubt, the area council accidentally paid you these amounts.
I don't know.
I'm not suggesting that you know. I'm saying let's assume that they accidentally paid you these amounts. There's no way you could have possibly known that there's money in your account.
If there are other transfers apart from the 1,500, I am never aware of it, and I never received it.
And your other payments, when they were making the payments to you, did they notify you that they were giving you? They give you checks.
They give me check for the $35,000. I remember that.
So then, how did they get your bank account details?
Huh?
How did they get your bank account details?
For the very first time that they were issuing me with the first check,
They issued you with a check.
they asked me my bank details. I provided them my bank details, the account name and the number. I gave it to them.
So is it that you requested that they pay you in check for the first payment?
I never requested for the check payment. They were the one who told me that we cannot pay you in cash. We have to give you checks. So you have to provide us your account details with GT account details.
But you will agree they don't need your account details to issue a check in your name.
But that's what they requested.
Yes, but I'm just saying, they don't need your account details to provide you with a check, to issue a check to you.
Okay, I don't know whether they need it, but do
you issue checks? In your business, do you issue checks?
Do you issue checks yourself? I normally issue checks.
Do you need anybody's account details to issue a check?
For me?
For you?
I only need your name if I am to pay you.
So.
But for GT, I never issue check for people.
For any bank?
No, other banks, yes.
Okay. That's fine. Chairperson, I believe this is a convenient point, but I'll be guided.
Stop. Okay. I believe it's to 5. It's a convenient point to stop. We will continue tomorrow.
I would like to make a request here, please.
Yes. Yes, please.
When I was communicated by your communication officer,
yes.
I told him that we had a program with ITC,
yes.
and I was the one coordinating this program at the regional level.
Yes.
So he said I should appear on Monday. I told him we are starting on Monday, so I will still request for an excuse from the team. Okay. So Monday I can come. Okay. So, but I don't know whether you will allow me to reschedule me. I don't know. I'm just requesting if there can be any possibility. But this activity.
Well, it is not going to be possible because we have already scheduled you, and we are leading you. We are hoping that we wanted to finish with you today, so we don't know. But it will not be feasible for you to be rescheduled because we cannot. We cannot get another witness to transpose you because if not, our evidence would be bad. All right? So I'm sorry, so you could give them, they know that you are also doing a national duty by coming here. In as much as you would have been doing a duty there, which is also a national duty because you are coordinating an activity that is beneficial to your community. But this is, I think, is more of a more significant nature.
I am not trying to argue or to just, I will just still appeal because this activity is also for the young people and the business people. And probably if I'm not there, the activity might be cancelled and the money that we spend will also be going in vain.
But Mr. Diva,
no, if it is not possible, it's okay.
It is just not possible.
No
so
problem.
Let's not debate this.
Yeah.
So see you tomorrow. Thank you.